Welcome to Eternal Focus, devotions to inspire your walk with God. Then Joshua son of Nun secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. "Go, look over the land," he said, "especially Jericho." So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, "Look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land." So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab: "Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land." But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them." But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road that leads to the fords of the Jordan, and as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death." "Our lives for your lives," the men assured her. "If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land." So she let them down by a rope through the window, for the house she lived in was part of the city wall. She said to them, "Go to the hills, so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there 3 days until they return, and then go on your way." Joshua 2:1-16. It's an intriguing story, isn't it? 2 Hebrew spies find themselves in the home of Rahab, a harlot in Jericho. Why there? Why her? What divine purpose could possibly be unfolding in this unlikely setting? From a human perspective, Rahab's house may have been the perfect place for strangers to remain unnoticed in a foreign city. But from heaven's perspective, this was no coincidence. It was a divine appointment, a moment meticulously planned by God to accomplish his purposes, and to change a life, a family, and a lineage forever. It's easy to dismiss Rahab at first glance. She lived a life that society would deem shameful. Her profession likely made her the subject of whispers and judgment. But God's ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are higher than ours. He doesn't see labels or resumes, he sees hearts. Rahab's story reminds us that no one is beyond God's reach. He meets us right where we are, in the middle of our brokenness, and invites us into his story of redemption. Isn't it amazing that the woman society might have written off became a central figure in one of the Bible's greatest narratives? Rahab's transformation didn't happen because of her spotless past. She didn't have one. It wasn't because she had a perfect plan for her future. She couldn't have imagined what God had in store. Her life changed because in one critical moment, she chose to do the next right thing. When Rahab sheltered the spies and later tied the scarlet cord in her window, she made a bold decision to trust in the God of Israel. She could have ignored the knock on her heart and dismissed the opportunity to align herself with God's purpose. Instead, she stepped out in faith and courage. That one decision didn't just save her life, it transformed her legacy. Rahab became part of the lineage of Jesus Christ, Matthew 1:5, her name forever written in the story of redemption. We all have moments when life offers us a choice, to stay where we are or to step forward in faith. These moments don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes the next right thing is a small step of obedience. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you've been avoiding. Maybe it's saying yes to an opportunity that scares you. Maybe it's surrendering something you've been holding onto for far too long. Whatever it is, that step could be the doorway to a new direction, a new chapter, a new story written by God's hand. God's persistent grace. Like Rahab, you may feel unqualified, undeserving, or unprepared, but God is always pursuing us with His grace. He doesn't wait for us to clean up our act or earn His favor. He shows up in the middle of our mess, offering us something new, something better. Even if you've made mistakes or feel stuck, take heart. Not one of us is too far gone for God's love. His grace has a way of meeting us in unexpected places, just as it met Rahab in the walls of Jericho. The invitation. Rahab's scarlet cord is a powerful symbol of redemption. It points us to the cross, where Jesus secured salvation for all who believe. Her story reminds us that God specializes in turning brokenness into beauty, shame into significance, and ordinary moments into eternal legacies. So, what is the next right thing for you? It might be a simple step of faith or an act of obedience. It might feel small, but in God's hands, it could set into motion a ripple effect of blessings. Just as Rahab's decision impacted her family and future generations, your decision today could have a far-reaching impact you can't yet see. Prayer. Father, today I trust you to guide my steps and help me to be bold and courageous, to say yes to your call. Please help me to take the steps of obedience you have for me and make my life count. I choose today to do the right things that will make a lasting impact on my future and the future of those who come after me. Amen. Let Rahab's story inspire you. The same God who redeemed her life and gave her a future is inviting you to trust Him with yours. Say yes to His call. Take the step. Do the next right thing. The new direction you've been waiting for may begin with the courage to say, "Yes, Lord." Thank you for joining me today in Eternal Focus Devotions to inspire your walk with God.